So this is what I feel like it all boils down to, is that most people aren't being themselves. Most people aren't even selves. Most people are actually just copies of stuff they've seen in the social construct. Walking through the matrix, seeing the red dress and being like, yeah, I like that. I'll copy that, put it in my own mainframe and reboot, and then I'll be that. I'll become that because I've seen that I like it. I know my hair looks, I know. We're transitioning right now. I think it's just a matter of like, I can't even take myself seriously looking at it. I think that's what it boils down to. I'm just watching, man. I'm just observing. I'm just observing, and stuff is just building up inside, and I'm just like, yo, most people have it so twisted. It's not even how it is. But most people aren't looking for how it really is. Most people are just, man, bro, it's so backwards. Most people have it so backwards. And so if you've found, you know, your way this far, then at some level you know what alchemy is. At some level you know that you are the creator. Two things real quick. Hip hop, I feel like, is the modern, and although it manifests in a masculine expression, it's the modern means of, I mean, I see, at least in the, you know, the Western culture that I exist and participate in, as a means of true liberation through self-expression. But I hear people say, like, you know, I'm just doing me, but really loudly shouting, I don't give a fuck. And that's one of those, I feel like there's phrases that can, yeah, like they come from the true ones, which those are the true ones who have, you know, found it in them to actually be themselves, actually harmonize, crystallize, and, you know, they found self-realization through whatever means they happen to find in this lifetime. Saying that, you look in the hip-hop community, there's a lot of people who are really actually truly, and I mean truly, being themselves, and there's also a lot of people who are saying that they're being themselves, but they're just copying the handful that are actually being themselves. And it's turned into this huge war of, I know you are, but what am I? Or, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Nah, 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 nah. And not to say that it's better or worse than other marketplaces or industries or sects and segments of culture. I said I want to touch on two things. That was hip-hop. Another thing is Christianity, bro. And this is just a downside of it, because I know a handful of, like, some of the coolest, awesomest, brightest human beings in my life are Christians. That being said, I think that there's some super critical flaws in it as a modality to live by. Not to make this a video about dissecting Christianity, and I'm not the expert to do that in, but I can tell you from my experience, and that also from my observation, that it seems to serve as this really debilitating mechanism for it's just like it immediately, it's like the original sin concept to the bone. It basically infuses anybody who's really working with that as, like, you know, the working operating system, and it basically infuses them with this forever brokenness. I think A Course in Miracles is Christianity 2.0. Not even, that's not, probably not right. Well, yeah, actually, I think it is, but that's another video as well. But what I'm referring to right now, though, specifically, is just, if you have a mindset or a modality in place, and a modality, a belief system, a lens that you're looking through, that basically you're labeling yourself as incompetent in any degree because of a belief that, if it's Christianity, then it's like, this is not a belief, this is truth. but it's belief. This is truth, and it basically makes me incompetent. I need this thing that, in the way that I'm referencing, makes me incomplete and makes me need something other than me. Yes, there has to be a tangle with spirit, there has to be communion with spirit, there has to be a bonding relationship with spirit, and you gotta go and, I mean, that's, I'm in that right now with yoga, and it's like, oh, it's the same exact thing as, at least energetically, it's the same exact thing as prayer and as worship and as, you know, I usually have a hat on. That's why this is happening. I just see people in my life, but out in the world, and ultimately my own experience and my own process of like living life and asking myself these questions of like, why do I feel so broken? Why do I feel like I'm doing, you know, what are these mental loops? What are these belief systems that aren't true, that don't serve me, that, how did they get here? I'm just asking questions, I'm just observing my experience. People come in my experience, information comes in my experience. And basically shit just doesn't add up. And when something doesn't add up, it's like you either let it go and slide by, or you like stop everything and you look at it and you say, why? Why? And yeah, I mean, not to say that that's the best way either, because I think that what that's done to me is really disconnected me from my heart and put me in my head for a couple years now. Like super analytical, overthinking, but I think that it has served me in my process, and ultimately is like, this is the process that I'm going through, that now I'm seeing like, oh wow, I had that kind of super cerebral, intellectual way of needing to, which I think is my masculine aspect of my realization process. You know, it's like you need the masculine aspects and facets of moving towards love, moving towards atonement, moving towards this unity, moving towards self-realization. I think that you know, just saying that masculine conceptualization, intellectual understanding has its place, and can help serve the greater cause of union, of yoga. Bringing it back to what I was saying at the beginning, is just most people aren't themselves and have no idea what that even means. Be mindful of the recycling bins around you. I'll say that. Be mindful of the recycling bins around you, because you don't know what they've collected and you don't know where they got it from. Somebody might have just used I remember when I was a kid, I used to use other people's laughs. I remember I had a friend who had the coolest laugh. I thought his laugh was way better than mine. And how I laughed, I felt I was like a silent laugher. Like something be super funny, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like most of my laugh was basically in silence, which I'm sure, well, at least I have a feeling that it says something about, that says something. But anyways, I picked up my friend's laugh and I used it for a while. I think I did it with other people. But I'm referencing that to say grown-ups are out here 20 years deep in somebody else's career. And they'd have to have a huge ego death to get back on track, and they're not going to do that. Or they aren't, at least. And so they're around you, they're in your life. I don't know about you, but everybody in your life isn't enlightened. Everybody in your life isn't on the spiritual path. Everybody in your life isn't gluten-free, organic, and non-GMO in the intake, in their input, or in their output. And so you're around that. And so they watch CNBC or CNN or Fox or ABC and NBC and all these all-seeing eyes and all these receptacle bins of content and identity. Because even a news channel, it's an identity receptacle. Because yeah, you watch that channel long enough, you become everything that channel is promoting. whether it be marketing products or just straight up cultural information and tuning. Like, watch BET for long enough, what do you expect? Watch MTV long enough, what do you expect? Watch Fox News long enough, what do you expect? And so, watch your friends long enough and watch yourself long enough. I feel like, man, I can't speak enough on journaling. Like, there's absolutely no replacement for the tool of journaling on the alchemical journey, I think, in my experience. And it's all your reflection. It's all the reflection, reflecting back to you. It's just about your level of awareness. I'm making these videos because I think it helps me with my awareness, because I'm having to be at some level more aware than I was previously when I didn't have this type of output energetically. Me picking up my phone and making this video, it's almost like I'm going through my recycling bin and seeing what's in here that doesn't serve you, or seeing what's in here that you didn't even mean to get in here. It's like the, trash or recycling bin. Paper and plastic. Anyways, be yourself. Who self? What self? Are you a copy? I had an amazing piece of advice given to me by a friend one time. Actually, she said her mom said it. And she said, are you you or are you them? And I was like, wow. The implications are pretty much spot on. What do you mean you? What do you mean my? What do you mean I don't like? Etc., etc. So yeah. Thought juice for the day. Are you you or are you them?